Hi, good day guys. Welcome back to my channel. So you're with me, as always, Vincent. I hope you're all doing well. We are, as you all know, we are 2 weeks into our enhanced community quarantine and so much has happened. We're seeing a lot of development in and out. A big salute to all of the frontliners. A big shout out to all the people that are out there on the ground that have been tirelessly working to keep all of us safe. You and me, we have the luxury of being able to stay at home, so that's the biggest contribution that we can make. But there are people out there, your grocery workers, your healthcare workers, your BPO agents, your soldiers and policemen who are keeping the peace. Depending on wherever you are in the world, I'm sure there's a lot of these people that are working to keep the lights on, to keep us all safe. So a big shout out to all of these people. We salute you guys. I want you guys to all know that we appreciate you, and if there's ever anything we can do, we're all on social media. We see pleas for help. We can share equipment. We can share donate goods and funds for those that have a little bit of extra. Please do contribute to your local causes. So again, a big shout out, a big salute to the frontliners. God bless you all. We hope you stay safe, and we can't wait until this is all over so that we can show you how much we appreciate you in a hug or a handshake or whatever it is that we can do to show our support. So for all of us that are not frontliners, what we can do to contribute is stay at home. We cannot stress that more. There is so much that we are contributing in terms of flattening the curve just by being at home, just by staying there, staying put, keeping productive, and doing our part. One of the things that I know to do is to share things that I've learned, things that I think can be helpful. So that's why we make these videos. That's why we keep trying to produce material that can be of help from your own homes. You don't have to get up or subscribe to anything. Well, subscribe to this channel. I'm here today to talk about fear. Okay, these are very trying times that we're in, and trying times, they always reveal things that we are able to set aside during times when we're all preoccupied. During normal times, you don't see the true nature of things because we're too preoccupied either with our work or our schooling or paying the bills, keeping the lights on, so things like that. But like you said, trying times reveal the things that we keep at bay, the things that we try and hide. Maybe your true character, your emotions, some of your feelings. These are all things that surface when challenges arise, when there are problems, or when we're faced with a trial such as this. But this is not limited to just this coronavirus. This can also be when you experience any personal challenges, any trials in your life, professional trials. It's during these times when our true character comes out. Out of these many feelings, out of these many emotions that surface, fear is one of the first ones that come out. For any uncertainty, for any form of challenge that we don't feel prepared for, fear is one of the things that really come out, like out of the surface. It's really out there. So fear is one of the first things that we have to deal with. Sometimes this fear manifests differently from person to person, but typically, whether before your trial or during your trial, during your challenge, or sometimes even after, we're left with scars because of this fear. So these can manifest in trauma. But the thing about fear is it takes on various forms. Fear can manifest as anger. Fear can manifest as anxiety, sadness. Fear comes in many shapes and forms. So it's not always easy to find out when somebody is afraid. Very few people will actually admit when they're afraid or when fear has consumed them. Fear remaining unchecked. The problem with fear taking over somebody is that it leads us to do irrational things. Even we can't explain when we're afraid. Social media, the news, everywhere we go, fear is weaponized. Fear is used against us. Fear can trap us, keep us from doing best for us. Fear is a mechanism. Fear, by definition, is actually not all bad. going by the dictionary, an unpleasant emotion caused by threat of danger, pain, or harm. A response to a stimulus, either in the present, preemptive, or a future risk that causes physiological changes and ultimately behavior changes. So basically, fear is a mechanism. Fear braces our body, our mind and body to react to whatever stimuli it is that is causing this fear. So in effect, if you really look at it, if you really come to the core, fear is good for us. Being afraid of getting hurt allows us to keep from getting hurt. It allows us to think of ways to avoid getting hurt. Now, this fear, depending on what you're going through, can become irrational. There are instances where this fear can grip you and keep you from living your life to the fullest. So fear is actually a good thing until it consumes you. In the right amounts, as with anything, it is healthy. It braces you for what lies ahead. It gets your mind and your body ready. For example, when there's an explosion, your sense of hearing, you hear the explosion, and almost automatically your body shifts to the source of the sound. Once you're able to assess with your sight this time that this risk is near me. So from that assessment, your fear of getting hurt is what's going to cause your body to respond almost instantaneously by assessing these risks. And the fear that you feel, your body now tells you, hey, this is not a safe place, move to safer space, keep yourself away from this harm. So in effect, it's this fear that is protecting us from getting ourselves hurt. It prevents you from repeating past mistakes. You've been hurt before in a relationship, so you've been hurt emotionally. Seeing the signs that lead to this hurt again will cause you your fear of that previous hurt to keep from repeating these mistakes. It is healthy. It does help. It reminds you to take extra caution. As with the case of what we're going through right now, a slight amount of fear, a respect for this virus causes us to wash our hands more frequently, practice social distancing, keep from going out, keeping it to essentials, things like that. So it's this fear that's bringing us to what is essential, where can I adjust in order to keep ourselves safe. You're at the point where you realize that the level of fear that I have is already consuming me. I'm on social media all the time and I see we're fed all of these things. I'm not saying they're just there to scare us, but these things that we see, these things that we read, they register in our minds, and whether consciously or subconsciously, it causes us a small amount of fear. And then that small amount festers, and then you have more, and then a little more, and then a little more, until it comes to a point where you're consumed by this fear and we're no longer able to act rationally. So, what can you do about that? How can I help? Have no fear. We are here. These are just some of many ways, but I can think of right now 3 very important ways to deal with your fear, to overcome your fear. First is identify your fear. What is it that you are afraid of? What is it that keeps you awake at night? Is it providing for your family? Is it being able to excel at what you do? Is it this virus? Is it getting sick? What is it that you're afraid of? Once you're aware of the things that you fear, this identification allows you now to focus your energies on avoiding or strengthening yourself in the areas that you could be weak. For example, if you're afraid to catch this virus, number 1, you can stay at home. I'm already at home. What else can I do? You can exercise. Exercising improves your immune system. It improves your resistance. That makes you stronger. You can clean your household. You can sanitize. You can disinfect. It's this fear, the identification of this fear, knowing what you're afraid of, leads you now to put that fear into a productive energy. You can utilize that fear to make something of your time. So identifying what you're afraid of allows you to act on it, to address it. And this is one of the easiest steps to overcoming your fear, because it's hard to fight a battle where you do not know what your enemy is. So you know now what you are afraid of. Now is the time to move to the next phase of overcoming your fear, and that is finding your purpose. Finding your purpose is asking yourself the question, why do you do what you do? Why are you afraid of getting sick? Okay? So, if you are afraid of getting sick, there's definitely a reason why. It could be because you are the breadwinner of your family, they rely on you to be able to provide, and you getting sick puts them in jeopardy, puts them in a situation where they may not be able to provide for themselves, your children, your friends, your family, all of your loved ones. So that now is your purpose, providing. Once you've found your purpose, once you've found your reason for doing what you do, you should be better able now to collect yourself, to find out what are the things that I can do in order to fulfill this purpose. How do I, more than just the physical aspect of keeping myself healthy, what are the things I need to do to ensure the education of my kids, to ensure that they grow up to be good citizens? What are the things that I need to do in order to earn more so that I can make their lives more comfortable than the lives that we led? So this can entail improving your skills, your knowledge, your attitude towards things. So finding this purpose allows you to focus your energies and your strengths towards making these things happen. Now, armed with an idea of what you're most afraid of, what you don't want to happen, you have a purpose that guides you towards where you want to go. What do you do next? Now that you have this idea of, this is the kind of life that I want to lead. The next thing to do, the third way to overcome your fear, is to act. Actually acting allows you to be too busy doing to concentrate on your fears. Your fear no longer has control over you. It's no longer consuming you all the time. It's no longer the only thing on your mind. Because you're guided by your purpose, the simple act of doing moves you one step forward. So every day that you improve yourself, every day that you're trying to get better at your craft, every day that you're concentrating on drawing closer to your purpose, you're acting on becoming better. You are fulfilling your purpose. You are providing for the needs. You are excelling at your work. You are getting better as a person every day. It need not be big acts. It can be small acts at a time. 1% every day gets you to 365% in a year if you're consistently doing. If you're delaying, every day you delay your result, you delay the fulfillment of your purpose. Now, rather than focusing on just your fear is still there. You're still afraid of getting sick. You're still afraid of not being able to provide. But rather than focusing on that, you're moving, you're acting. And that's one of the best things you can do for yourself and for those that you love, for the people that you are trying to provide for. So, identify your fear, find your purpose, and act. In closing, I hope you learned something from that. But do remember that you are allowed to feel what you feel, okay? Don't let people dictate what you feel. If you are afraid, it's okay. It's normal. It's a human emotion that you should feel. If you're never afraid, something might be wrong. You may have experienced a trauma. You may have a pre-existing condition. I'm not an expert. So, this is merely a guide to help you find your bearings. If you do need to seek professional help, never hesitate to do so. I will link below some sites that you can search. I'm sure there's plenty there. There's probably a hotline wherever it is that you live that you can consult with if you do feel a need for professional help. But it is okay to be afraid. It is a good thing to be afraid. What's important is don't let it consume you. So, if you found value in this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you would share it with a friend. My team and I are constantly working on putting together great, engaging content for you guys so that you're not bored during this time of quarantine and so that you can keep the pace of self-learning and self-improvement. For more like this, please do subscribe. Hit the bell notification so that you get an update every time we upload a video. Until then, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you. Be blessed. Have a great day. Bye.